This is October 30th, 1985. We're the home of Charles Roberts, and Harry Jones is here with us. This is Marion Blaetz speaking.
Yeah, all right. This is the remains of the old Forest Springs Hotel.
This is the picture with the three chimneys.
Yeah, these were the chimneys involved with the old Forest Springs Hotel. Mm-hmm. And these three houses over here are still there. They are on the Memorial Circle, what is known as the Memorial Circle. Right down here in town, when you make your right turn to go to Fort Dix, on the right is a plaque depicted in the names of the veterans of World War I and World War II. And directly in back of that are these three houses on that drive. They've suffered a lot of changes and modifications. Let me put it this way. These are directly in back of the bank.
Yes,
Sycamore Hall.
Sycamore. There was Sycamore Hall.
Right.
Now, the location of Forest Springs was over where Hewlett's house was?
No.
No, back of that?
Where the Pig and Whistle was?
Practically on this site of the old Pig and Whistle Inn.
Mm-hmm. That's
It
what
could have been 10 feet in back of it or in front of it. But it was the site of the old Pig and Whistle Inn.
Now, these three houses had to have been built or were in existence at the time the Forest Springs Hotel burned, which was 1895.
I would say so, yes. 1895, easy.
So those three houses predate
They were
that.
there. They were private residences, of course, and had nothing to do with the Forest Springs Hotel. Somewhere in this pile of stuff are the names of the individuals who owned those properties.
And then there would be a road between these remains, these chimneys. Trenton Road would run...
Three roads.
Three roads.
Firstly, the road from Pemberton to the lake.
Yes.
The road from Fort Dix to the lake.
Yes.
And the circle.
Oh, the circle, yes. Three counting
So
the circle.
there are three roads.
And the auditorium was not built at that time. When did they build that? Because if you took the picture from behind this and it was where the Pig and Whistle was, then wouldn't the auditorium come into view?
Later.
Yeah, I would figure much below that.
That was in the 20s.
20,
What auditorium?
yeah. Sorry.
There used to be on the V
Yes.
in town, Fort Dix,
My
Pemberton.
birthday was
On
first,
the triangle was an
function
auditorium
that held
building.
in the
A
auditorium.
building that included a theater, a stage, an auditorium, so to speak, and a number of stores to include a branch of the post
This
office.
is his map.
Yes.
Now, how long ago was it moved?
Do you know who built it?
My grandfather had it built.
He had it built
Your
up.
grandfather had it built, and his name was
Richard Hurst,
Richard Hurst.
H-I-R-S-T.
Well, you certainly know all about it then.
I think you will find that at the time there was a builder in this town whose name was J.G. Browning. Now, any building of any consequence, he erected. And the chances of his building, the auditorium building, is very good. As a matter of fact, he built this house and a few others around like 100 years ago, back after the lake was dammed up, actually. Okay, I'm ramming.
And that map, that's an original.
This map
That's it.
is taken from this.
Yeah, use a flashlight, I think it'll show better.
Oh, that's amazing. That big map for the benefit of the tape. I have to tell what we're talking about.
It's
Talk.
1879.
On here it says 1882. That's interesting.
It is a different map.
That's not the same
Map then.
one then, I guess.
Well,
But
it looks
it's
the
very
same.
similar.
It looks the same otherwise.
They might have brought it up to
This
date.
measures, what, 3 feet by
This is,
3 by 6 feet?
now, I don't realize what you've done here. This is a T.P. Newell and Ridgeway survey map.
This is up there. Now this is different.
It is different.
And this is down there, and this is different.
They're not quite the same.
Not quite.
Well, let me change that on the back. That's good.
Yeah.
I put it now.
This one's
Similar.
1870, this one's
The one in
1879.
the lower right-hand corner was not the Forest Springs Hotel.
That's Newell
It
House.
says
Newell.
Newell House. And this
See, you're
is
conflicting
Brown's
here.
Mill.
Newell and Ridgeway, Newell House, and
And this is a Scattergood boarding mansion.
Scattergood Boarding Mansions.
Now, how did you come by this large map? Was it in your family?
I would say so. It was a hand-me-down. Now, you might go back many, many years ago, but fundamentally, it came from there used to be a Dr. Hunninger live in Brown's Mills. Right down here is a log cabin.
Hunninger's
Vast
Quest.
Hunninger's.
Yes.
He was
Hunninger's
a doctor, medical doctor, wasn't he? Was she a doctor?
I don't know.
I heard
Seems to me she was.
that she too was a doctor. Now, when the house went into a bad state of repair many years ago, it was, everything was thrown out. Furniture, wall covering, everything else. And I believe that this picture was one of those things. There are two of these pictures, one in back of the other. These are the only two that I know of in existence. I kept the two just as a matter of
Now, on the Newell House, is that on the same location as Forest Springs?
no.
I
Where
think,
was the Newell House?
Some of the literature here states that the Newell House, one of the Newell houses, was located where the bank now is.
which bank?
The new bank,
The Sycamore?
Sycamore Hall.
Wasn't the,
I've always questioned this because having looked at pictures and sketches and so forth, the Newell House would more than likely be located where the Browns Mills Supply Company is, right down here at the end of this road. Now, there may have been another Newell residence up there where the Sycamore Hall is. But you see, I go further back even than that. There was at one time a series of 2 or 3 houses up there. One was the Johnny Bye residence and the Johnny Bye store, B-Y-E. Now, if Newell came after that, after these houses were demolished, then I don't know. I don't have any knowledge of it.
All the pictures of the Newell House seem to show it on a high location, and I wondered if the location there where McDonald's now is could have been.
Did they have a tower by the Forest Springs Hotel? Because some of the old pictures of the Newell House show
A tower?
a tower, because
Water
rather than
tower?
this one. No, like an observation tower. And see, I don't see it on even one of these.
That's in the book. Thought I had the Pemberton book here. I guess I don't.
While we're on that, the bridge to Loveladies Island.
The bridge.
A bridge here at Filbert Street that went across Mirror Lake from this side to the old canoe club. Now, the old canoe club was later than this big beach. But
In the history, it talks about,
Newell.
I think, I don't know whether it was the Forest Springs or the Newell House. I think it was the Forest Springs that they had kind of like an amusement center on Loveladies Island, and there was a bridge that went to Loveladies Island. And one party that I questioned, who was no older than I am, but she's lived here most of her life, and she said the bridge was over close to where the present bridge is that the Army, the government built out to Loveladies Island. But it was no vehicle traffic, it was strictly a footbridge.
Possible, but I don't know.
I don't ever remember it, or I haven't heard anyone mention it. Doesn't mean it wasn't there, but
That clipping indicates the Newell House certainly preceded Forest Springs Hotel. This is 1877, talking
Yeah,
about...
I think it did. I think the
Yeah.
Newell House was there
Was
first, and I
first.
think it burnt before they built the Forest Springs from the history that I have read. And of course, you know, you get varied opinions on a lot of things.
I know in the back of the dam, down along the creek, there were walks and
See, when my wife
bridges that, the creek with
talks
lines
about
around and various
Was
bridges.
there a
and-
bridge?
bridges and stuff, this is old
Yes.
Browns Mills, and these are the
Yes.
type of
I
bridges.
even remember that.
Yeah, well, I remember
Yes.
that one too. Whenever
There
we walked in
was
town, we always
two that
stopped
I
back at
knew
the
of
spring to get a drink.
Well,
One was-
I used to have some blueberries back
across
off the old railroad.
Oh,
to
yeah.
Back in there, we always used to stop there.
Not
and fill up the
Loveladies,
Yeah. This is good.
Velvet Lawn
That's
from
called
Doc
Velvet Lawn Inlet,
Keeley's, and this is Velvet
Remember
Lawn
the railroad
Inlet.
when it came in?
with a spring
Yeah,
house
I
in the
remember the
background
bed.
there.
Back in here, yeah.
like we used to drive down that.
And this is Velvet
There
Lawn,
was still some
and this is Lakeshore Drive.
tides on it,
Tides there,
yeah, when we used to drive over.
The other one, of
road.
course, was up at,
Can I take a look at that?
Used to come down from Camden.
Harry wanted to see this.
My grandfather used to come down every Wednesday after Rotary, and he'd take the ferry from Philadelphia, go to Camden, then we'd get the train and come down to Barrens
interesting.
Mill.
Where did this bridge go?
the bridge that you're looking at right now went from Lakeshore Drive across the
It's over
lake,
here.
across the Velvet Lawn Inlet to Velvet Lawn.
Was that the Williams property? Don Williams?
Yes.
Well, that's new, but Don Williams took John Liza's property.
I don't know whether I remember this bridge, but I remember a bridge going across there.
That's on North Lake Shore
Yes.
Drive.
And up in this inlet was this little summer house, and there was a spring in that too.
Remember whether that was the Sulphur Spring or a different one?
There was always so much controversy. Everyone had their own idea as to which was the iron spring, which was the sulfur spring. And,
I know the one down by the railroad was good water, I've drank out of that.
but yeah, well, this is the way, as kids, it was water, and we were thirsty, and that was it.
Oh, without a doubt, the spring along the railroad tracks was a sulfur spring. Because if you got down on your hands and knees, take a drink out of that thing, it would floor you. The odor you couldn't go near.
I never remember that. I filled my thermos bottle there many times, and it was never sulfurized when I...
Yeah,
And we always
she
got down
was
on our
a
hands and
beaut.
knees and scooped it up too.
And we always referred to the spring out on Velvet Lawn as being an iron spring.
Can I ask you just a few quick questions?
Come right ahead.
How about the location of the golf course?
Brynwood Golf Course. You know where the bathing beach is across the lake?
Yeah. Turn left and back up in the woods?
Turn right. In other words, if you were to go across the lake and stand on the parking lot of the bathing beach, that is where the golf club house was.
That was on the corner across from Carolina's.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And
Next to it.
this way, up through the woods, not along the lake, up through the woods was the Brynwood Golf Course. 19-hole golf course.
B-R-Y-N, is it, or?
Brynwood.
I've heard this before. That's the general in the auditorium. Now, the grist mill was right at the corner of the dam. I'd say the corner, the side towards Fort Dix on the far side. Yeah.
Highway tire.
Now, where was the sawmill located? Was that on the other side?
No. There were two sawmills. But that was one. The grist mill had been a sawmill, but it also ground corn. Now, we go one step beyond this. From the old grist mill, we go across the back of the dam
Towards Hobart's.
towards Hobart's, and from there to the tap room. the big tap room before you get to Hobart's?
Yeah, Palace, or what, no,
What
what's the
in-
name of it? Lakeview,
Lakeview.
right next to the old
There
railroad
used to
bed.
be a big, long sawmill in there.
But that's really what I meant
Became,
with the other side of the
Yeah, Miss
Good
Hathaway.
eventually
Yeah,
became
but-
Mrs. Hathaway's
tea house.
tea house. But they also made electricity there, and they made
Later.
plastic homes.
And there was a small station in Brown's Mills, and there also was a railroad station in Brown's
Oh,
Mills.
yeah, it came right
And
into
one,
the
I've seen
lake.
a picture of that, and they also had a station at the junction,
Yeah, that was the original
junction.
junction.
And then they used
And
to
the-
back in,
This was a spur where they would
Yeah.
back in and back around up in Hobart's gravel pit. And that passed, of course, the Iron Springs or Sulphur Spring, where they
spring.
packaged water
We'll settle for
to
that.
send to Green's Hotel in Philadelphia.
And the
That's what
mill
it is.
on Little Pine Lake was right where the dam is now, or not?
Pine Mill Dam. Once again, we are getting out of Brown's Mills. Back in those days, we are leaving Brown's Mills. When you got up as far as the Pine Mill Dam, you were in Pine Mill, not Brown's Mills. Now, if you go up past the Little Red Schoolhouse and you make your first left, you go over the bridge
Yeah.
where Ramona Earlin lives right there. The first road to the right, is where Pine Mill Dam was. And the house still stands where the Pine Mill Dam operator lived. That house is on the left, at the same street where you turn right where the Pine Mill Dam was, is or had been.
About, I'm not interested in exact year, but about what time did they start the chicken farm?
Oh, we're going back to that now.
I'm sorry if I'm,
No.
I
Got to
Mrs. Blaetz, she may
defer
want to
here.
ask you some
No,
other questions.
lots of time.
I put these
Farm.
down, I wanted to,
That
You're the
was
ones giving the talk.
international-
They're the important questions.
International.
well, some of these will be in
school.
top, but I just wanted to know for my information.
The chicken farm was originated by the International School of Correspondence, School of Husbandry branch. And that was started in easily 1917.
1917.
Now that had branches in Brown's Mills. They came to be at certain times, other times, like 1918, 1919. And that's when Ralph Hewlett got involved. Now one of the branches was where the Palace Inn is now. The other branch was up the Lewistown Road towards Fort Dix dump area, right in there on the left. That was another branch. These different branches
The big
handled,
building, the Rexseal building, what called it in recent years. You know where Francis' uncle lived? In back of Cars, the building.
big brick building.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know where, that's where I thought was
yeah, that's it.
there. They,
Part of it.
not too long ago, they had a, well, I'd say too long ago, carpentry,
Yeah,
made television cabinets.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's been
I
a
knew the
variety of
fellow
things.
that, I knew his father, that made television cabinets for a while. He got his start in the First World War, he made cabinets for Western Electric in Philadelphia. He was from down in Haddonfield.
Well, that too was part of it, ICC.
Well, this was long after that.
Yeah,
But all of these things all fall in line. For example, ducklings were raised where the Palace Inn is. Chickens were raised on the Lewistown Road. And the big building that we refer to as Rexseal made, what is it when they raise chickens from eggs? Brooders?
yeah.
Brooders. Built brooders. ICS school built brooders. Shipped all over the world, made it in the Rexseal building. And up till the time that Mrs. Haynes was the boss lady down there, she still got mail from the people wanting these brooders.
May I ask how you spell that, Rexseal?
REX,
Rex.
SEAL.
Rexseal, I see. Thank you.
That's when it was full and we would.
I hadn't heard the name.
Now it went from that, with ICC shut down, it went from making brooders to bottling soda water. And it became known as the Rexseal Bottling Works. And that is how Walter saw, what's her name now?
Kay Stoll?
Carolyn, her husband, came to Brown's Mills because he was one of the, what we would call today, administrators of the Rexseal Bottling Works.
And he later became township clerk and so
Oh,
forth.
yeah, he went into the political aspect.
That was Stull, his name.
Yeah.
Did you go through your list, Harry?
Yep, you go right ahead now.
Okay, I have a question about this powerhouse, which is shown in this little booklet, and it looks as though you have the same booklet there.
Yes, I remember two of these.
You must have given us one of them. Is that the same building as is shown here in the book? Over here?
Yes.
Because there, it looks like an inn or a hotel or something.
This place suffered a fire in the second story, and it was rebuilt
The powerhouse.
and into what you see there.